As we mentioned earlier, good news, FAA lifting all restrictions on commercial flights today ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. But airlines are still facing hits to their bottom lines from the shutdown. Phil LeBeau here with the details. Phil, how bad is it going to be?
Well, we don't know because we don't have the final numbers. We do now, but the analysts are now just putting those numbers together in terms of what the impact will be for the fourth quarter. We'll talk about that in a little bit. In terms of the daily operations, we've seen these reports all morning long. It's smooth operating, generally speaking, at airports around the country, largely because you're looking at the restrictions being lifted starting at 6 a.m. and good weather. That always is the key determining factor in the fourth quarter. In terms of the government-mandated cancellations, which started on November 7th, and then they went through yesterday, a total of 7,710 flights canceled at the 40 largest airports. This is according to Cirium. That works out to be about 4.7% of the schedule. O'Hare hit the hardest in terms of the mandated cancellations, 26.6% of the flights. For the airline stocks, they're not moving higher today because the cancellation order has been lifted. In fact, they're slightly lower. Why? Because the fourth quarter is the most important quarter of the year for the airlines. Maybe you could make an argument the summer might be a little bit more important, but it's huge. And they will take a hit in the fourth quarter. We heard from Ed Bastian last week. Any of the corporate travel that was scheduled last week, that's largely gone. You're not going to see people say, well, I was going to schedule it. Now I'm going to come back. A little bit of that. Generally speaking, that's gone. The good news is that you still have Thanksgiving and Christmas, guys. Most believe when the analyst estimates come out, you're looking at each of the large airlines probably taking a couple $100 million hit in terms of revenue. Now, whether or not they can make some of that up because there may be some pent-up demand, people might say, okay, well, I was thinking about canceling a flight or not taking it, but now that everything's going, I'm going to schedule my flight. There might be a little bit of that, but I think in the next couple of days we'll get a clearer picture about what the implications are for the fourth quarter for the airlines.
We tried to pin Bastian down on what capacity growth might look like for next year. That's probably a conversation for coming weeks, Phil. I wonder, did you have any eyes on Dubai Air Show and some of these orders for Boeing planes out of Emirates, for example?
Right, and that was expected, that we were going to be seeing some orders, not huge orders relative to what we see when we're in Paris or at the Farnborough Air Show, but certainly significant as the Middle East continues to grow in terms of commercial air service. So you saw Boeing this morning. You saw some incremental orders for GE Aerospace in terms of engines. GE Aerospace now, for some of their engine segments, they have 70% of the Middle Eastern market. And again, that is small relative to Europe and relative to North America, but it's growing. And that's why the Dubai Air Show is what people are focused on right now, because you want to see, okay, what are we looking at over the next 10, 15, 20 years? And that's where a lot of growth is happening.